Hello everyone, in this video we will be showing the internal construction and the components of a submersible pump. But before that, as the pump is being disassembled, as we can see, I will explain the basics of a submersible pump. A submersible pump is also known as an ESP, that's the acronym, which stands for Electric Submersible Pump. It is a device which has a hermetically sealed motor close coupled to the pump body. Hermetically sealed means it is airtight sealed. The whole assembly is then submerged in the fluid to be pumped. As the pump is submerged into the fluid, it is necessary that the motor windings are protected from contact of the fluid. This can be achieved by either enclosing the motor windings by a watertight driving ball, or else by giving the motor winding special protection by suitable type of insulation. Basically, the submersible pumps used in ESP installations are multi-stage centrifugal pumps operating in a vertical position. The liquid in the pump, after being subjected to great centrifugal forces caused by the impeller, lose their kinetic energy in the diffuser, where a conversion of kinetic to pressure energy takes place, and this is the main operational mechanism of a radial and mixed flow pump. And as the whole pump has been disassembled and all the components are lying on the table, we will assemble the whole pump again, and during the assembly process I will explain the function of each component. The red component is known as the bushing and is a bearing to provide radial support to the pump shaft turning at high rotational speeds. On top of the bushing, a suction plate is attached, and the suction of the liquid to be pumped takes place from this part. As we can see, on top of this suction plate, an impeller is inserted. Basically, an impeller transfers energy from the motor that drives the pump to the fluid being pumped by accelerating the fluid outwards from the center of rotation. The number of stages of a submersible pump depends upon the discharge required. If high discharge is required, then the number of stages required will also be high. If low discharge is required, then the number of stages required is lesser as compared to the high discharge. The number of stages also depends upon the input to the motor. For instance, if the input is 0.75 HP for a certain head, then the number of stages required is 12. But for the same head, if the input is increased to 1 HP, then the number of stages required is reduced to 8. That means that by increasing the input to the motor, we can reduce the number of stages in a submersible pump. The main advantage of this type of pumps are that they prevent pump cavitation. Now what cavitation is? It is the formation of vapor cavities in a liquid that are the consequence of the forces acting upon the liquid. It usually occurs when a liquid is subjected to rapid changes of pressure that cause the formation of cavities where the pressure is relatively low. When subjected to higher pressure, the voids implode and can generate intense shock wave. Other than the advantage of prevention of pump cavitation in submersible pump, there are various many advantages, but I would like to mention a few. The first advantage: the operation is very economic due to the high overall efficiency of the pumping sets. Second, due to submerged installation, priming of the pump is not required. Third, low noise level because of general bearing. Fourth, installation of submersible pump is easy and requires lesser time. Fourth, requires no maintenance because of its gland-less construction and its water lubrication, and etc. Biggest disadvantage of a submersible pump lies in the fact that it is hard to identify and repair damages. Indeed, if the pump loses its integrity and starts to leak, the components may start getting corroded, without any sign being because the whole assembly is submerged into the fluid. Besides that, another disadvantage is that it is costly. The reason is due to their technical nature and all the safety units required. After knowing the advantages and the disadvantages of a submersible pump, I would like to mention or pinpoint some of the application of the submersible pump. These pumps can be used in drinking water supply installation for cities and rural areas, lowering the groundwater level on building sites, service water supply installation for industries and commerce, for irrigation purpose, and etc. As we can see, all the impeller bowls have been inserted accurately. We will now insert the delivery part and the outer casing of the submersible pump to complete our assembly process. But before that, between the uppermost impeller bowl and the delivery part, a gasket is inserted, which serves the purpose to prevent leakage in the submersible pump. A gasket is nothing but a mechanical watertight seal. As we can see, it is placed before the delivery part, and on top of the gasket the delivery part is attached. And finally, the outer covering is inserted, covering the internal components of the submersible pump. Thank you for watching this video.